Let's open the Jeremiah, the 18. Okay. Jeremiah chapter 18. The word of the which came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Arise and go down to the potter's house, and there will cause thee to hear my words. Then I went down to the potter's house, and behold, he worked on the wheel. And the vessel he made of clay was immersed in the hand of potter. So he made it again another vessel, as seemed good to the potters to make it. Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this pot, says the Lord. Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in my hand, O house of Israel. Let us pray. Dear Lord, we come to you, giving you thanks. At the presence we hear at the Piney Grove Baptist Church, sharing the service in your presence. So we ask you this moment, ask you to have this special moment with your message. Give me the word by word to preach and reveal the truth, so we may follow your direction. And we desire your mercy and grace applied to our lives. Because we're not perfect, because we fail many times. You are so rich in grace and mercy, asking you to cover our sins. This moment, Lord, let us feel your hand as the potter, as we are the clay, in front of you. So let us feel your hand touching our heart and directing our lives. Continue to be with us through the service. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So, Jeremiah 18, potter's house. Many people would think this potter is making. Have you ever seen that? That making the clay and turntable, it just comes up. So easy. So in high school, I've done that. One of my classmates has an art school. She has a gift shop. I mean, her parents have a gift shop, and on the upstairs is the art school. And she said, "Come on, I'll show you." So I went there, and you think it's so easy, but that is need to train. Just like playing the piano, just like playing ping-pong, and skill. So when I tried, it just crashed. You know, she just built up to the teacup or whatever, and then okay, now close up to the base. You know, we'll make it. I tried, but my finger is not stationary. And when you touched it, instead of building, it crushed. And I've done that several times, that's it. There's no way. He said, you just need practice. So, the point of this potter's hand is, okay, go down to the verse 11. Now therefore say the people to Judah that living in Jerusalem, this is what the Lord said, look, I'm preparing a disaster and you deserve dividing the plan against you. So turn your evil ways, each one of you, reform your ways and your actions. When I said I am a clay and you are the potter, I don't have any control and you does. And please do not destroy me. I think that's a prayer I should pray, but also from there we need to get something different. Because that potter's hand is so special. I'm not talking about powerful God's presence, so anytime He's going to crush the earth and destroy this humanity, I'm not interested in that. But the precise hand of the finger and everything else of making this vessel, that's the God's hand I'm interested in. I desire. Now, before the clay goes to the turning table, several things I have to do. I wish I could pray to show it to you. First thing she did was, from a chunk, covered with wet clothes, and bring it to the table. Now, start pushing down. Push it down. So make it push down and pick it up. She just bang, beat to the table and start pushing, just like a kneading a biscuit dough. And pick it up, bang. And for a while, let's try to make it, get it soft. You know that Play-Doh, make it soft and make it shape, whatever. Basically the same thing. But the next one is very interesting. She has a string and a chunk of clay, right? And cut it into half and opens it up. You know what she's looking for? She's looking for making sure there's no air hole. If it has any air, when you start baking, what? Cracks. You won't bust it over, but well, sometimes. But none of the air should be in a chunk of clay. So every time push it down, squeeze out the air. That's very important. And cut it so many places and making sure that there's no air pocket. And together, push it again. And those preparations, to me, the God preparing my life, just like a clay. God knows this turntable. Before getting to go up to this turntable to make a beautiful vessel, God had to prepare me and you and be one. Sometimes it just cut through your life. Sometimes it just beat your face out of the other way or something. But that's what the God is preparing to get onto that turning table. I don't care how precise the hand is. I don't care this beautiful artist can do the things to make this vessel, but if the clay has some air in it, the finished product has a crack. And the clay has inconsistency. That's another thing she told me. When you push it, then push it, every corner is get back to the other corner. And the consistency from this corner to the other corner, everything is the same. You know what I mean? So when you turn, one part is so soft, and the other side is so hard, you cannot make it to the raw vessel. So the God is preparing our life so hard, so unfair. But listen, if the God is preparing this turning table, which I have no idea, it's a big stage. You yourself going up on this stage and make it to this beautiful vessel, or just teacup. What's wrong with teacup? Ended up, I made is the Japanese teacup with her help and everything, but mine is not like a thin. If you thin, it has to be very precise, right? So mine's very thick and heavy, but so special because I made it. God has the plan. God has this turntable. Right? So the hand of the potter, yes, it is controlling. Yes, right now it feels like that potter's hand is just beating me and pick me up and bang on the table. Oh God, why? But through those moments, God is preparing. Listen, everybody knows the Psalm 23, right? The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. This is from NIV. He makes me, Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pasture. He leads me beside quiet water. He refers my soul. He guides me along the right path. For his name's sake, even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil. You are with me, your Lord, your staff, they comfort me. So even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. The potter's hands, that your rod, your staff, they comfort. Psalm 23. I went to the funeral service, the graveside service at Wilson Center. Few people I know. Miss Dulcie Smith taught school forever, 45 years, I believe. Miss Dulcie Smith's son-in-law passed away last week. And Wednesday afternoon we gathered and preacher read Psalm 23. even though I walk through the valley of death, or the death came reality, I will not fear evil. Why is that? Why? Psalm says right here, thy love, thy staff, they comfort me. Oh, it's just a stick. Oh, it's just a things. To me, that is a potter's hand. Now, potter's hand is so important. If you are on the turning table. Now listen, potter's hand is so impressive. Yeah, you can watch that. You watch that on the table, YouTube or whatever. You've seen that, right? It comes up and it's just so pretty. But if you are just watching, you not cry. You have nothing to do with potter's hand. You here claim this potter's hand is in your side. Just like right here. Everybody have to walk through the death valley. Everybody have to go through this suffering. Everybody have to go through this unknown things. But this psalmist said, I know your stuff and your Lord is taking care of my life. And that is my comfort. People dying every day. Oh my goodness, in China. It scares me. And many people, many things is revealed and coming out, a lot of things. Just like in World War II, when Japan and the United States started fighting, and Japan attacked the Pearl Harbor. It's awful things happen. But things happen, next thing is awful. The government of the United States started arresting all the Japanese because they conspiracy. They turn information to Japan, working for Japanese government. You guys need to go to the prison camp, staying there till the war is over. That really happened. Happened in Arkansas. There's two places in Arkansas. They stay. I know one friend staying in this concentration camp. Same thing. It comes out. Something this big happened. All the Oriental people, all the Chinese or Japanese or Cambodian or Thai, doesn't matter. If you're Oriental, you must carry this box. It's a joke around here, but when they close to it, it's not. And when it comes out, very, very strong thing. What is that? That's what the unknown thing, that's what this darkest valley is. We have to go. We are in. So Paul himself, Romans chapter 9, Paul said, does not the potter have the right to make out of the same lump of clay some polished for special purpose and some for the common use? Now listen, you are the clay. And potters have the one to make you the vessel of this gorgeous thing. I've seen the museum, it's like 2 feet high. I mean, like 3 feet. And I cannot imagine, you know, flower vase, you know, getting bigger the higher price. Oh yeah, right? Double cheeseburger is more than a single cheeseburger, correct? So bigger the high price. But I'm thinking, when it gets bigger and bigger, I'm thinking the first 2-3 inches coming up is, yeah, I can do that. But when it gets close in part, that's what the hard thing. And that object is about what, 5-6 inches tall? Hard. Let's make it to 12 inches. Harder. Now get it to the 3 feet high. I have no idea they can do that. Consistency. Remember, this is a soft clay, and the standing from that pressure-wise on the 3 feet bottom will work. But that is the precise hand of this artist, making that so special. So the Paul said, it's the God's hand making your life so special. So it's that God's control. Verse 22, Romans chapter 9 and 22. What if God, although chosen to show his wrath and make his power known, bore it great patience? With a great patience, objective words prepared for the distraction or this great patience. You know what I did? When I make a mistake, my finger, it just shakes a little, and the teacup is not round anymore. And then what I do? Bang. Frustrated. Bang. Because I'm not skilled. Because I don't care these ugly things. Paul said the same thing. Listen, God is all control, and he can destroy everything. Remember Jeremiah's message. You turn your evil ways. Each one of you, reform your ways and your action, because the wrath of God is coming. Judgment is coming, crashing down. You are the clay. No control of that. Crash to the bottom. Throw it to the table. God can do that. But the Paul said, that's not our God. With a great patience, he loved them. Verse 23. But if he did this, make it riches of his glory known to the object of his mercy, whom he prepared in advance for glory. Obviously, God created this universe. Obviously, God can make judgment, and he will make a judgment, but he patiently waiting still this moment. Why? Because through our prayers, through our obedience, this God glory will overflow. That's what the potter's hand is waiting. We are the clay, and the clay will get this beautiful vessel. How? because of the potter's hand. So the Paul said the same thing. Chapter 6. Go back to the chapter 6. Listen, people. Chapter 6 and 16. Don't you know that when you offer yourself as someone as obedient as a slave, you are slave of the one you obey. Whether you're a slave to sin, which leads to death, or to obedience, which leads to righteousness. See that? Now some of the clay, I saw it on that workbench, and right beside the workbench, there's a broken pieces and all over the thing. I asked her, is that the trash? Yeah, it just sit aside, got hard, and not work. So put it to the side. So the many, many crays ended up this wayside. But the one with the hand of potter made this beautiful vessel. Paul said, whatever you obey, you are a slave. You are a slave to the sin, and you are slave to this righteousness. You slave to the Diet Coke, or you slave to the morning coffee. You're a slave to the ping pong table. I was last week. Whatever that is, you obey. They control you. Isn't it awful to think sinful life is just controlling you? Paul said, listen, if you obey this potter's hand, your freedom is coming. And no worry, it's comforting, it's peaceful. And making this beautiful vessel by this hand of the potter. You are the steel clay. The clay get on the right beside the workbench, hardened, broken, in pieces. But you are making this turning table. Right now, you are in turning table. And put the Lord's hand together, making some beautiful thing come out of your life. Because Paul said, you are submerged by this God's presence or a sinful life. You are slave to some other things. But thanks be God that though you used to be slave to sin, you have come to obey from your heart pattern of teaching that has now claimed your alliance. You have been set free from sin and become slave to righteousness. Verse 18, it just reveals so much truth. You are set free even though you are the clay. You are set free even though you are sheep. How? Sheep said, shepherd, your rod, staff, comfort. Sheep have this shepherd to protect. Sheep have this shepherd to take care every day with this rod and staff. Clay. We are the clay. We're the clay on the turning table. We're the clay of this. God's hand is just coming down to your life. And stop making. Too many people were complaining, oh, I'm on the turning table. It's going around and round. It's all the same praise. It's making me dizzy. Why I'm going all the way and all the way and all the way? Why? At the same moment, God's hand is trying to mold you to this vessel. And the complaining help anything? No. Paul said, obedience give you freedom. Freedom is not jump off the turning table. Freedom is obeying to the Lord's hand, the potter's hand. Put yourself to this beautiful vessel. Make a creation out of your life with this potter's hand. Wonderful creation is on your way. My life, your life. With potter's hand, let us make this beautiful vessel from now on. Let's all stand.